Wait a minute.
Oh, you're still.
My phone is there. It goes. Ooh, technology.
Wait, we might be sideways on yours. Let me check it.
Yeah, I was gonna say double check. My phone does not want to let me be great. Technology has been fighting me for about the last 48 hours. What's going on, Veronica?
Yeah,
look, are we? Oh God, I gotta stop it on my page, you guys. Hold up.
Look. 1 second, hold up.
Technology will not allow me to be great. It's hating on me. Hey, Scotch Lover, you came back with us. We got
this, Veronica.
We got a mini delay because I gotta restart my video on my page because Facebook won't let me be great. But today's topic is
confidences. You got crazy cousin, I got mean girl cousin. And we're going to tell you guys exactly what we mean about that. It's going to get real. It's going to get juicy today. You know, we coming off out of our challenge day 1. So we're feeling energized about that. Hola, Camille. And I know that I said hello to Nisa. Hello, Nisa.
Hey, y'all. Can anybody guess who Confidence's crazy cousin is? Do you know who the crazy cousin is? That's what I want to know. I think they know. Hopefully now we're on their on my page.
I'm gonna check.
One last quality assurance check, y'all.
Technology hating on me too. Been handwriting most of my work today. See? They said, you know what? We're gonna kick it old school.
All right, let's see. Do we got it? Come on.
Yeah. Yes.
Yay. Okay. We can get it going.
You told them on yours. So y'all see it.
I'm sorry. I didn't even think about that typing so fast. So yes, Confidence's crazy cousin's name is Insecurity.
Yes. Hey, Mackenzie. So that's what we're talking about today.
Well, we can't pass up our usual.
No, we're not. Okay. I just want to let them know, like that is the answer.
Okay, we was using stall tactics, so we got to make sure we stay on our typical grind.
Yes, ma'am.
Typical announcements. You already know this is Couch Conversations, where Imani, Aisha, and I, business coach and
marriage coach. I'm sorry.
LOL. Come in here to give you some information, some skills. Hey, what's up, Sam? Hey, is that from high school? Maybe not. That's somebody else. But anyway, give you the information that you need to thrive in your business, to make more money, information you need, things to consider to thrive in your marriage, to have more solid relationships. Yes. We going for the gusto. We are having no holds barred conversation about the issues that impact you. And guess what? I want to say it plainer. I want to be a little bit more confrontational with it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know who you are. It's only one Sam I know from Parkway West. So anyway, look, all my homies coming through. Look, I told you I'm cool with the fellas.
That's what's up.
But I'm going to be a little bit more hardcore, right? For the simple fact that why is it so hard to pass on positive information? Yeah. You all know that y'all sitting here getting the goods. Don't be selfish and act like this information is so hot that if anybody else get it, you're going to miss out. It's enough room for all of us to be great. Now, in the meantime, in the between time, we rewarding you all for sharing. So share, get your name dropped into the thing 3 times. I put a pick up. The numbers is getting up there. Free session is coming up the 3rd Monday. We drawing to see who gets a free session with me and Imani to talk about your. Yeah, they are fucking powerful. Yeah. I'm gonna stop right there before I get distracted.
I know. I was like,
so being here and watching, you get it. Yeah. Sharing on Facebook, you get it. If you tag somebody that you know needs to be on here, you get it. Sharing really is caring.
It is. I know we say that, but it really is because you care about somebody else's up level. When people talk about, oh, you about to, you know what I mean? It's an opportunity to really get the message out there and do them a solid. So let's do them a solid for real. So let's go ahead and not cut. Let's not take all day. Yeah. Let's just go ahead, cut to the chase because I'm in one of them zones. So today was first day of the Fix My Business, Fix My Marriage Challenge. And those ladies are in there already looking at the criteria like, okay, let me go ahead and do this. And one of the first things that came up, thank you, Mackenzie. One of the first things that came up was the whole thing about bragging. Now I got a couple of guys over here on IG. Guys, help me out. Yeah. Now, because I know y'all have confidence issues too. Ain't nobody. If you are an entrepreneur,
there's a shift in you, and no one's exempt from having to build your confidence mojo. Yeah. But I still have a tendency to see this affect women more than it affects men. And so you guys have heard me use the example before about women in the business. You heard me talk about how we raise our boys to be competitive in sports, to go for number one. With girls, we talk to be more humble, and that's a counterintuitive way to be if you're going to be an entrepreneur. But this can still affect men too, especially if you're Christian, because there's something about humility that gets misinterpreted, and it looks like you being braggadocious when you are in the entrepreneur world. And so I want, the fellas that are listening to still join in this conversation too. Yeah. But I do want to just point out this one fact to show you all the huge disparity. Don't get me wrong, like even in the rap industry, if two dudes are going at it when they battling, then it's cool. It's like, oh man, did you hear it? Meek Mill and Drake is going at it. Who won? Blah, 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 blah. When two chicks are going at it, or if it's presumed that they going at it, then it's like Nicki Minaj can't call herself the queen without calling Cardi B a bitch or talking bad about Lil' Kim. It's about being lyrical. It's just about putting your talent out there, and beefing is something that has sold records for eternity, but it's a lot of ish when women do it, but it's not the same thing when men do it. And so I do personally believe that there's a different dynamic when it comes to asserting confidence for women than it is for men. And so my claim, and we're going to dissect this because I'm promising you, this is literally, it's messing up your money, y'all. Yeah, I know I'm on the business side. Yeah. It's messing with your money. But if you cannot show up with an extreme level of confidence, and if you don't show up and you're not able to say that you are the shit in what you do, then you can't get the kind of money that you say you want to get. People can sell you a piece of shit car with confidence. And you can realize it's a limit, and they can sell you a dream to make you keep it past the mark that you still have it. Yeah. And so where are you at with your confidence? Because if you are not standing in your authority, you are messing with your money. And I want to ask questions, but I'm gonna pass the mic to Imani for a second to see how confident you are for real. So let me pass the mic.
Okay, I'm like, I had a question too. I was like, man, I'm gonna ask her about this, hopefully online, maybe offline if we have time. But for me, it's so clear. I want to know, just from likes and hearts from those of you who are on there now, how many of you who've been watching us for a while do these couch conversations are seeing clearly the parallels between your business and your marriage? I just want to know, show of hands, hearts, likes, whatever, if you're seeing the connection, because every time, August opens her mouth, I'm like, man, and it's so clear to us, like, oh, snap, that same thing you're talking about with the lack of confidence, with how you're showing up, with shirking yourself, with how women were taught. I see the hearts, thank you. How we were taught as women, the things that are downloaded to us, that are the batteries in our back, that happen when we're younger, we're going through grade school, and then we decide that we're going to have a career, we want to be a boss at it, and this is what they say when you're a boss at this. I was telling August the other day that, and I'm bringing it to marriage, but I was telling August the other day about that woman who was in tech. She's an entrepreneur in the technical field, and she went into a meeting, and they said, okay, so who's spearheading this? And she was like, well, I am. Well, okay, but who's the one who's doing the whole management of everything? She was like, I am. So did your father? And she was like, did my father? And so there was this thing where she felt like she wasn't looked at as if she could be the spearhead in a technological field. But my thing on my side is, where is that coming from, and how's that showing, those kind of things showing up in your relationship, and how you're bringing that in, because it doesn't just poof disappear. The things that you were talking about don't just disappear because now you're grown and now you're married and you're in relationship. See, one of the biggest things that people, when they come to me, will say, once we have the questions and we get into some stuff that they hadn't thought about, is, you know what, Imani, you know what it is? I just want to be myself in my marriage. I'm going to be real with you right now. And this is not going to sound healthy. And I'm like, please do, because that's why we're here. This is not for you to put some polish on it. I'm tired of walking on eggshells for my spouse's feelings. I feel tired of feeling like I can't say what it is that I want to say because you went left today, because I'm like, dang, last week I went left, so I got to shut my mouth. I'm tired of feeling like I'm going to get into it with you so heavy that I'm not going to be able to do the things that I need to do. I'm going to be in a jacked up headspace. And so I'm just not even going to broach the conversation. I'm tired of not feeling heard and understood. And see, when we get down into it, and this is the part that brings in what you said too, they're like, but you know what? I'm like, well, where did that come from? Like, where did that come from? And they'll be like, oh, you know, I had a teacher who told me I talk too much. I had a cousin who told me that I always think I'm the better one. You know what I mean? Anybody had a cousin or family member, or friend that was, you know, I had a family member.
That's my whole life.
Child. I had a family member that told me I must be entitled. I must think that I'm entitled. And so I learned to do these things. And I'm going to kick it back to August for a second, but I want you guys to think about some things. I'm going to ask you, what have you learned that you feel you learned about how you're supposed to show up as a woman in general? I mean, not even, I mean, it'll pertain to both of us. What are some of those things? Spit it at us, and I'm going to kick it back to you.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest with you, you know, even with the gentleman, because we have a gentleman popping in and that's watching, hey, how are you doing? Let's see, what's that, Tico? It can happen with men too, because maybe there is a more, you know, aggressive nature with you, but somebody keeps telling you that you need to pipe down so you don't scare people or whatever. Because, and I want to make sure that I'm addressing this because it's for the fellas too, because you guys are chiming in. But that is a really good question. And you guys give us feedback as we're going so that we can start connecting some dots for you. But let me show you what not showing up as your authentic self does to your business. And I literally just had a conversation with a woman about this earlier. I'm gonna put a little bit of a spin on her situation so that, you know, I always tell you, I don't want nobody trying to figure out who I'm talking about. But I had a conversation with a powerful sister, and we're more like companions and collaborators than it is a relationship. She's like, oh man, I just don't know what I'm gonna do about this one client that's just seeming not to do the work. Hello. I'm gonna read that in a second. She was like, and I got this client, and you know, she's not doing the work, and you know, I don't want to let it go, but then I don't want to deal with her stuff. And I'm like, but how do you feel as a business owner? That's what the real question is. And so if you're insecure because you're afraid you ain't gonna get another client, you don't know where your next one's coming from, you may hold on to somebody that you don't deserve when you know that your expertise is golden and somebody isn't respecting your business. They may end up being the same person that will go back and give you a shitty ass review because they didn't get the results that they were looking for, all because you won't rise up as your true self. And so she was like, well, you know, I'm just curious, how do you handle it? And I was like, how do I handle it? I'm like, well, first of all, because I'm a business coach who deals with women, I know that you're not trained to be entrepreneurs. So I know that there are several things from a mindset perspective that you don't know and you may be damaged. So I'm going to be patient to a degree. But I'm going to call your shit out because I can't help you if I don't call it out. And I'm going to be like, wait a minute. You're not doing the work. You're procrastinating. And as soon as they start giving me a list of 15 things that came up, I'm be like, you know what? I'm going to tell you the cure for procrastination is to give a damn. Like literally, that's it. I can shut it down because if I turned around tonight and gave you the opportunity of a lifetime, you would be like, I'm gonna get to the babies. I'm gonna get them to the daycare. I'm not gonna be late. You would speed through traffic. People do shit when they care about shit. And so like I told her, I would approach the conversation in love, but be like, okay, do you really care? Because I can't be more in tune with your dream and care more about your dream than you care about your dream. And in the minute that they don't show up, then I let it be known. Here are the T's and the I's that I dot and I cross. And even if you in a contract with me and my contract does say that you pay me to the end, I'm liable to just tell you, take your stuff and go and be gone. But when you hold on to stuff like that, that insecurity is deep. Because you can't stand up as who you are. Why? Because the person may think I'm being too mean or that I'm being offensive. Right. But what about the fact that they're not doing the work? What about the fact that you can't make a miracle out of somebody that's desperately desiring to work against all of your efforts. And so that right there is deeper than just having a conflict of interest with what you do with a client that's bothering you. So you can't show up even with client conflicts if you're not confident in who you are, where you stand, where your standards are. As a matter of fact, if that type of situation comes around one time too many, I literally tell my clients, oh, you need to change your conversation before you have a contract, because it's never about them. It's always about you. And so if you keep on attracting a specific thing, then at some point you have to say, well, how do I stop this from coming to me? But if you're afraid, because you don't want to be too boisterous, you don't want to be outspoken, or my favorite word, misunderstood. And I can speak to that because I was always misunderstood. You would rather hold your peace than speak the truth. And that is an insecurity. What we got over here, what are we saying? When people tell you who they are, when people tell you, are you enough? Are they even enough? And we know the answer to that is that they not, because if a real person is grinding and doing what they need to do, they celebrate the grind. They celebrate whatever your enough is as you go into the next level. Absolutely. Yes, girls, when they tell you you're too much, I mean, always get that too. For real, preach, yes, and amen. What else we got?
Yeah, I can't see on your phone. Can you see it?
My personal confidence and business confidence don't always match up. I'm good with who I am. Now, you say your personal confidence and your business confidence don't match up. We're going to come back to this in a little bit, especially because you in the challenge, Mackenzie. We're going to go a little bit deeper than that inside of the group. Hint, hint, you want deeper answers, you should be joining the challenge. But let me please explain something to you. Who you are personally and who you are professionally, it's the same person. I said it before and I'm going to say it again, and you can give me a chance to prove it. But what happens is it doesn't manifest and show up the same way because there are certain parameters on specific situations. There's something to lose or there's something to gain. So you all don't even realize that you police yourself. But who you are, I'm going to say it again, who you are professionally and who you are as a business owner, it's the same thing. And this is why women don't make it, because you try to compartmentalize your emotions, but it's all the same thing. I don't want to be hogging, but can I give this example really quick? Because you guys got me going. If you're a control freak, you like stuff to go the way you want it to go in your house because you the captain of the ship. You're going to be like, okay, well, I need the dishes washed this way, and I don't want this clean. I don't want to go to sleep with any dishes in the sink, when the clothes are washed, dry, blah, blah, blah. You want stuff in order. Hubby comes in, baby, can you please sit your shoes up there? No. The hamper's over there. When you are a control freak and you want things done the way you want them done in your household because you already in position, you will be free and you will boss that shit. But if you on a job and you want a promotion and you are afraid of being perceived as the pushy, mean ass black chick, and I'm saying this because you African American, when somebody comes to you and you like, okay, I can't manipulate this situation because I got a boss above me and I can't just tell, do this way, do this that way, such and such and such. You will make subtle suggestions, and then when they don't respond to what you want, you will have your powwows with other people who may jump on the bandwagon. You may subtly say things to people who you believe have an influence before you even really 100% check to even make sure they on the same dial with you, to see if you can circumvent around them to get somewhere else. If you can say, I really don't want to do this, you can make it look like this over here is more pressing than that over there. And maybe if I don't do that over there while I'm doing this over here, they will see shit my way. So you got to be a little bit more sneaky with your control and your manipulation, but at the core of you, it's still the same thing. And so whether it's positive or whether it's negative, that's just one example. Of course, Mackenzie, I'm not saying that's you, but I got to paint the picture. I got to get you guys to see. You got to quit thinking that you're doing one thing over here and one thing over there. No, baby, what you guys are doing is suppressing and wearing a mask. And if you're going to be a boss bitch, if you're going to be a queen, queen bee, if you're going to be the head honcho, if you're going to have CEO mentality, if you're going to be a business bestie, badass, whatever, you're going to have to be 1000% comfortable in your skin anywhere, everywhere, all day long. There are absolutely no exceptions to it at all. Breathe.
I know, right? Whew. Whew. But no, I was just gonna say, the whole time I'm like, this is why we're doing this, because we see the compartmentalization so much. It's like, well, something's blocking you from getting to where it is that you want to be. And we're like, well, if we do this, then that's why I asked you guys that question in the beginning. Do you see? Are you really seeing? Not because we're telling you it's there, but can you really see it? Are you really connecting the dots between what goes on in your business and what goes on in your marriage? And here's the real thing, and that's what August is getting at. Can you connect the dots between the fact that you are you, whether it's your business or your marriage? Like August is saying, that the crux and the foundation of that is, who are you, right? And so the change and the shift that happens with you, like she said, it has to come from you. So when we talked about those things that you guys are saying it's not enough, and you're saying you think you're better than us, and all of these other things that you hear that inform something of the way that you feel about yourself, something within your spirit, something within your gut, something that you're feeling about who you are at the very core of you. And see, that thing about being misunderstood, being misunderstood, let's be very clear about that. When you feel misunderstood and it affects you to a certain capacity, that is you feeling like somebody attacked the very core of you. And depending on how they come off, it might feel like they shoved that thing down your throat without compassion and without any regard for who you are, as if the most negative parts, the shadow they can bring out of you, now they have said that's who you are. And when somebody that's close to you or somebody you're trying to help, like a client or somebody like your spouse, seems to be the one doing the attacking, I want you to think about that. I want you to think about that, because when you have a certain reaction to that, when something triggers and you're like, where the hell did this come from? It's because being misunderstood is not just about, oh, they didn't understand me. Because if it was about that, you could brush your shoulders off. You could be okay with it. You could be comfortable with it. Right. You could be like, all right, well, let me explain myself. Let me clarify this for you. But when it hits at the very core of who you are, when it feels like you must not know me, you must not know me. Do you see me? Because if you did, you wouldn't say it like this, or you wouldn't say this to me. But see, here's the thing. August said it, and I've said it before too. And I have to really navigate my clients through this, is that, can you tell me that situation and the ramifications of that situation without bringing your spouse in it? Because you're saying you don't see me, but are you showing you? Because see, we talked about what you're being taught, that you learn to walk on eggshells, that you learn to put others before you put yourself, that you learn to suppress your voice, right? You learn these things. You learn to be quiet. And so when you come into your marriage, just like when you come into your business, when you come into your marriage, these things that you learned are still how you show up in your marriage. And so instead of shaping it, because that's one half of it, that, okay, you don't see me, but the other part of it, the part that you can control, right, the part that you can take initiative on, is how is it that you're showing up? Because if you learn those things and you're showing up in that way, then really there's a resentment that you're feeling that, damn, that's on me. I'm not showing you all of me. That's the other side of that. I'm not really showing you everything, because if I'm shirking back because I want to avoid the conversation, if I'm not approaching you because I'm afraid what you might think or what you might say, if I don't tell you my dreams, if I don't share my triumphs and my tribulations that I go through in my business, the ebb and flow of that with you, because I feel like you're going to poo-poo on it, or you're trying to make it better because I think I'm better than you, but so do you. You must think you're better than me. And so now you're in an ego match, instead of getting down to, I just want to freaking connect with you. I want a partner. I want a friend. I want someone to listen to me. I want the person that I married, that I said I was going to be with for the rest of my life, to be the one to say, I see you and I get the voice. But you have to bring the voice in. You have to be like, I see you because you see me, because I see me. I see me and I'm unafraid to show you who that is. And I see women, especially all the time, who come to me who are afraid to be them in their marriage and show up as them in their marriage. And like you said, you weren't taught. But until we deal with this stuff, August, until we deal with this, they're not going to get the connection they want to have in their marriage. And they're not even going to see what's fully possible. And that's another reason why we're here in their marriage.
Hello.
And so we have to get through this part, ladies. We have to be honest about who we are, because when I think about it, the common denominator and what it is that we do, we bring women home to themselves, to who they are, who they really are, and make them see that it's okay, that we have shadows, that we have dark spots, that we have light spots, and no matter what, you can accept yourself, and your spouse will also accept you because you've accepted yourself. You're showing up in that way. And if they love you, then you will have that. And the possibility to navigate, everything else is logistics. Navigating the conversation, being able to approach it in a way, understanding, when to give space, when to not, that's logistical. But that core stuff, that's what we got to deal with. That's what we do.
First of all, I'm over here fuming because I want to say 17 things and I can't. I'm finna give you all another example in a second, and I'm gonna use a support example for those of you, whether you still in corporate America or you got a team. But let me just say this one thing to piggyback off of what you said. What I'm so sick and tired of hearing women say, especially as it pertains to the marriage component, I mean, unless you tell me that your marriage is great, stop telling me that it's okay. Stop telling me that it's good enough. Do you not even realize that you have mediocre conversation about your relationship? Why do you settle? And I see, Mackenzie, your comment is on point. I'm gonna definitely come to that ASAP. But for real, have you ever thought about the language that you use around your marriage? And my friend over here that's watching it, she said this is like church. But please let me make it understood. I ain't talking about the words you're speaking life over your marriage. I ain't talking about speaking it into existence. I'm talking about how you really feel about it. But nevertheless, let me go to this dynamic, and then let me also respond to Mackenzie, because she brought in something really, really, really deep. And I can't wait for us to dig into this in the challenge once we get out of here. But let's look at this analogy again from the personal versus the business based on support. How many of you women feel like you don't have support at home? You feel like, okay, I don't want to just crap on him because at least he does pick up the kids sometimes. But nevertheless, at the end of the day, I predominantly am the one who takes care of the household needs, whether it's the cooking, the cleaning, the picking up the kids, the laundry, all of that stuff. And so deep in your heart, you're not feeling supported, but you're not 100% speaking up. Or maybe you do speak up a little bit, but after a while, you just like, it ain't going to get done if I don't do it. You go into the corporate arena, or if you are having an advanced enough business where you have a team working under you, sometimes you may even say to your spouse, why is it that everybody else will support me, but I can't seem to get support at home? I can get support in my business. I can get support with my colleagues. And then these are often the same people that see, it always takes a circumstance. It always takes an explosion for the reality to come out. Because what ends up happening is, for instance, let's say that the pressure's really thick on the job, or you're approaching a new launch and you need your team to be there to support you even more. You end up needing to work a little bit more. You got to give a lot more time. And simultaneously, while technology is not being your friend, your husband's not stepping up to the plate, supporting you the way you want him to in the relationship. And before you know it, you're in such a frenzy that you want everything to work out. You don't even realize that you're micromanaged. And after all of the stress is tricky. And see, this is why a lot of women say, my business was booming, but then I had a nervous breakdown. My business was booming, but then my house got messed up. My business was booming, but these things, and you thought all the time that you had a support system. But in the corporate arena, or when I see you too, Scotch Lover, or in the business arena, when you had a support team, What was happening was you had control. And so while you were telling them what to do, but you're so used to not having support, you really never let them fully spread their wings and fly. And it takes time. Sometimes it takes months or it takes years for the shit to hit the fan for you to actually realize that you don't really feel like you have support anywhere, but you can carry your weight somewhere else. You don't perceive it as that. But if you feel like you lack in support, if you feel like you're the kind of person that's never supported, all it takes is a hairline circumstance, a hairline moment for that same language to come out. And then you start dissecting backwards and you say, well, I never really believed in support for real because I overworked and stressed my damn self. Absolutely. So that's another type of example. And I can go back and forth, left and right, but I want you guys to really make these connections. So I'm gonna go to Mackenzie first, Scotch Lover, then I'm coming to you. Mackenzie said, I'm a fiction author. I think that's the disconnect. I don't provide a service that puts me in direct connection with my clients in any way. Who I am personally is almost irrelevant to my business outside of marketing, but with what I am planning on doing next, it will be relevant. I'll post. Okay, I'm glad that you said that last part. Okay. Because see, here was the part where I was going to challenge you all. Yeah. How many of you have a product or service but people don't know who you are? You are an independent entrepreneur. You are a solopreneur. You are the face of your business. And in a time like today, because I do come from the era of like need buku cash in order to pay for newspaper ads, mailer lists, for what do you call the doggone things on the highway? The billboards. I come from that era. I don't come from the era of 2 cents a view on Facebook. That's not where I come from. Yeah. And so my thing is Mackenzie, I'm gonna be real honest with you because I ain't trolled you like that. I ain't know you was no fiction author. If you mentioned it, it was such in passing that it's gone from my brain. But I bet you beyond a shadow of a doubt, you know I'm a business coach. Yeah. I bet you beyond a shadow of a doubt, because you are friends with Camille, you knew that she was the head of Bilingual Brown Babies, or she teaches Spanish or something. Yeah. And so what is it about your confidence that shows up in your personal life that ain't showing up in your business life? Mm-hmm. So it's not about the fact that you're a fiction writer, because you're still the face of the business. And at the end of the day, relationships is what catapults business forward. So until you get a name where you like a Dean Koontz or something like that, where you say it and people are like, oh, there's another book, there's another book, there's another book. What are you doing, or better yet, what are you not doing to put yourself at the forefront and, you know, not publishing yourself? And you're going to love one of my interviews, because I interviewed a woman who is an author who has pushed out 33 books in a very short period of time, because she said when she said she was afraid to oversaturate the marketplace. And she said she had to really check her spirit. And when she went to Google told her, she's like, I had to consult my best friend in business. No. She said that Google told her that if somebody calls themselves an author, now I'm not saying you got to do what she did, but just understand the principle. If you're going to call yourself an author, then you should be pushing out a book every 3 to 6 months. Because if you don't really have a book deal and you breaking money off of these books, then what are you doing, and how are you connecting with people in order for them to know who you are? And even if it's not you physically on video, it has a lot to do with your copy, how you connect, how you display your words to get the people to understand who you are as an author and how you want to serve them. We really, really are going to dig in that to see what's that confidence glitch, and it's for you to see how much of you personally needs to profusely flow out in order for you to increase the amount of money that you're going to make, because it's deeper than and bigger than having ads, having a platform, having a website. Yeah. We have connections. Yes. Scotch Lover, you said, is there a high divorce rate when a spouse starts a business during the marriage? Oh, wow. You know, we talked about this when we first started. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, I mean, the divorce rate is high anyway, and I'm always the one to look. You know, somebody comes to me, we doing this thing. I don't care what the numbers and statistics say, but when you do start a business, what people don't do, and what we're doing now, is that they don't realize that the transitions that you make, the mirror that it puts up in front of you as a person, as a human being, and the sheer desire and hunger you have to see that business grow, that can be in direct conflict with what's been working thus far in your marriage
Right.
causes so much conflict that people find themselves in a spiral and they don't do what they need to do. Here, real talk, they don't hire a coach.
No.
Okay, they don't, they don't even reach. I don't need to reach out to them. We just haven't, this season. But the reality is, as much as your business is going to grow, you need to make sure that your marriage is elevating with it. Because digging yourself out of that after it has spiraled is very difficult for people. They can't see the trees, above the forest or whatever.
The forest from the trees.
The forest,
That's the biggest thing,
Yeah.
It's the communication.
Yeah.
So here it is, all of a sudden, I've always just been at home. I've been a stay-at-home mom, or I just had this job and there was a routine set. Now all of a sudden, I got big dreams, I got big vision, and I'm gonna need you to chip in and do more. And whether it's a job or the other spouse is already an entrepreneur, they already had a passion. You pulling them, you just saying that you want to do something. If you don't communicate, how do they know whether or not it's just something else for money? They don't know that it's your core, your dream. All you told them was, I have a dream. They don't even know what that means. We all knew what Martin's dream was. We saw the little black boys and the little black girls holding him. He told us what the dream looked like. And most people, they just say, I got a dream. Right. I'm supposed to change the world. I'm supposed to do something in society. And we haven't even expressed what that something is. My husband knows. Yeah. He knows my expectation. I'm so big on my dream. My clients that have been around me for 2 minutes, they like, we know what August want to do.
We see it, they like, we see it, girl. We know. No, but it's true. And my husband and I have very, deep conversations. And sometimes they're passerby conversations, check-in conversations, but we push each other and we grow together. And we know what we're both trying to do. And unlike August, we both have differing entrepreneur endeavors, but we on Team Aussie, we on, Team Family, this is the business, this is the Us Inc., incorporated. But one thing, I'm going to say this example because it's reminded me of a couple that when I first came out, there were an older couple that I knew of. They were not my clients, but they were somebody I knew, clients, and they were older, empty nesters. Okay. And this is lets you know how much this permeates. He was like, all right, we retired, the kids are gone, we about to go to Italy, I'm booking the trip, I'm booking the plane, we going on a vacation, I'm gonna play golf with the boys, like we're gonna be laid up, see our grandchildren whenever. And she was like, I want to open up a bakery. He was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, what?
The bakery can't fit on the plane.
Right, what are you talking about? He's like, and he had built a business. He was like, do you know that it's going to be this? And you're going to be, hiring people and you're going to have to. And she was like, I know, but I suppressed this dream while I stayed at home with our 5 children. And I feel like now is my chance and now's my opportunity.
Damn.
And there was so much. I mean, this was like the rest of this was like, you're about to do this for the rest of our life. I'm not going to be with you. I'm not going to see you. What's going to happen? And they had a very difficult time with that. They were in. So this lets you know just how much it can permeate, because this was something that wasn't said for years. This was something that was pushed down for years. And and when it finally came out, it was at a point where they were in 2 separate places. And what needed to happen was the conversation about, okay, well, what does it look like for both of you to actually support each other and not some broad stroke way to be able to live out this season of your life together. If you love each other, you want to be together. How do you make that work in a way that works for you? There's no book that's going to tell you the exact thing. There's no magic pill. There's no fairy dust. How is this actually going to occur for you? But that's how deep it was for them. And they had a very difficult time in the winter, season of their life over that.
And it all goes back to where we started at the very beginning of this.
Yeah.
Something wasn't spoken because of think about it, insecurity, not secure. So what do you feel like is not going to be secure or not going to be safe or not going to be okay if you open up your mouth, if you show up as you are? What do you feel like you're going to lose? Because it will cause you to suppress.
Absolutely.
How do you have the conversations if you were never taught?
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing that most people don't even understand. Insecurities are okay, but like you said, but you need to start somewhere. Absolutely. And you need to get some help. It's guaranteed, okay? It's guaranteed that everybody that starts a business is going to have insecurities, but it is drastically, exponentially multiplied once you decide to do this and you have been birthed with no direction. Yeah. My kids are birthed to be entrepreneurs. Yeah. Every time they want to do something, like, oh, you want to make clothes? So how much did that take? How cost? How much was that thread? How much was that cutting board? How much was the scissors? How much was the needle? How much was the thread? How long did it take you to make it? Is it just because you're slow, or do you have you perfected your skill? How you gonna price this out? You selling it to the neighborhood kids? What would be different if the person? What if one of these grown folks? I talk to my kids like that. My daughter was designing jewelry. You gonna charge for every little finding, every little needle, every little bead, every little case, every little piece of tissue paper, the packaging, the boxes. Yep. We talk about their mindset, being confident, talking to people anywhere. Yeah. They're raised differently. They're reading books that you guys are not reading. So they have a different type of swag. But when you come into the online arena, the entrepreneurial arena, you want to know the biggest thing that'll help you all get you some clients that none of y'all want to do? Duh, this right here. Not this right here. I'm so St. Louis, this right here. This right here is what will exponentially multiply your ability to get clients. Yeah. But you want to know why you won't do that? Because you're insecure. You're not confident. If you didn't listen to the podcast episode today, you should listen to it. I said some of y'all stand in the lab so long trying to perfect a product that by the time you get it out here, it isn't even relevant. Ain't nobody gonna buy it. Yeah. Don't nobody even want it. But if you just do what we doing right now, so people can give you feedback to all these comments that Mackenzie said, I don't need 15 people to comment on my post. Yeah. All I need is one person to comment and say, ooh, because see, I'm smart enough to understand that Mackenzie is not, oh, I can't say it that way because you is unique, baby. But let me make sure we keep this in perspective. You're not so unique that you're the only person that feels that way. Exactly. It's a universal truth that we all go through, but you are unique. You a freaking star, darling. But because I can see that, I'm like, ooh, so we going down the rabbit hole. Right. I could just create a product because I understand my intellectual property is the bomb and just say, hey, you guys want this? Click the link and buy. That is the era that we in. But that sounds so freaking scary to some of you all. You won't just get out there and make an offer, but what you want to do so that you protect your confidence. Oh, it's not that I'm insecure. It's just that I don't like to do shit half-assed. It's not that I'm insecure. It's just that if I'm going to start right. It's not that I'm insecure, but if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it in such a manner that is worthy. Well, your prim and proper posture with your products and your services is not going to put no paper in your pockets. Boo-boo. Pee. So for that reason, the very thing that you holding on to, getting in order, 9 times out of 10, it's the thing that's holding you back. And then when you sidetrack on your dreams, you don't move as far as you could with your dreams. You want to know what you do? But at least I tried. And deep down in your heart, you be sitting there saying to yourself, but I could have tried something different. And trust me, just like you let your shit go by the wayside with your business, you will let it go by the wayside like this woman did with her marriage. I'm just saying. You say comes with the alliteration, girl. I know, right? I was worried about the piece, but you did it, girl. Like, popcorn up in this piece.
I love it. I was like, she gonna keep going. Like 18 pieces. I'm sorry, y'all. Sometimes we have to, we go in, we get high. We gotta bring it a little lighter. Yes. Oh, man. But absolutely, it's true. And what we do is we look at what people are doing, but we say, okay, we're going to put something out there. Okay, all right, we're going to put something else out there. Not just throwing spaghetti on the wall, but looking at what it is like you said that they're saying. And saying, I trust myself enough to say, it's the content that is important, that when we put it out there, what they're going to get from it, how they're going to be changed, what it is that we're saying is more important than the bow that we put on top of it. Are we sloppy? Hell no. But I'm just saying, hell no. But I'm just saying, understanding that piece is what moves the dial for former perfectionist. Okay, I get it. All right, too. Moves the dial from, okay, we're getting something done and we're making money. Listening to what this woman said, we're actually dealing something in our marriage, and oh snap, now I have the freedom to do crap because did I just come home and everything's done? What the hell just happened? Because you knew how to approach the conversation and you dealt with the real stuff. That makes a difference between that and staying stagnant and still coming home and being frustrated and feeling like ain't nobody having your back you know, when they're supposed to have your back and you have their back, because you learned to have everybody's back but yourself. And the person that you feel supposed to have your back, you feel like they don't have your back. You know how much resentment that bleeds? That bleeds so much resentment, and it might be quiet and it might be loud, but it's still there. Yeah. And we want you to be free of those things, or be on the path to being free of those things, because we know that it takes that time, that progress.
Absolutely. That yes, man. Yeah, you guys have got to raise the standard, you know. I'll just say this. I want to leave. We probably gonna have to do part 2 to this. I know. We're gonna have to probably do part 2 to this, but you do realize that a lot of your insecurity is also very much learned behavior. You know, this is why we're doing the group, because there's so many different layers. Like I always tell you guys, when you put comments out here, you give me a place to journey from. I'm never specifically claiming anything for anybody, but a lot of the insecurities that we have in business and in our marriage, it's a learned behavior. So if you've seen a bunch of infidelity and stuff like that, then you're going to be afraid that if you're not sexy enough or you don't do this enough, that would cause them to leave. When you see a lot of people continue, if your circle is negative and they always talking about their failures or how hard it is in business, they always talking about it's harder for Black people than white people or whatever, and their conversation is negative, instead of saying bump all of that, but I'm the one who defies the odds. Exactly. You know, or what it's easier for men than it is for women, and they get paid more and blah, blah, blah. If you have a better circle that's around you talking, then you raise your expectations. You raise your expectations for success. You raise your expectations for you. You raise your expectations, period. And when you do that, you have a spirit of expectancy, and then you start experiencing things on a much grander scale than the average person does. But a lot of your insecurities, they are learned. And so the only way you're going to get away from it, boo-boo, is for you to unlearn, then learn. And what a lot of you all want to do is, you know, you just want somebody to give you the answers. Like, for instance, the ladies that's in a challenge, they can't just come in there and they can't come in and be like, oh, well, let me just go click on this clickable link and watch this recorded automated video. It's like, no. Who are you? What do you want? What do you need? How can I help you? Because you get an opportunity for free to get live information from uno, dos,
es para mí, maestro.
Look, the entrenadora de la mente right here. You know what I'm saying? I'm all up in your mindset to the umpteenth degree. You get direct access to it, because there's no cookie cutter solution. You are unique. You are grand. Who you are, what you want, what you desire, deserves red carpet treatment. It deserves the creme de la creme. You all don't deserve this BS. Let me just tell you, this cookie cutter 6 steps to getting 6 sex in bed, and 6 steps to getting six figures in your business in 6 days, 6 weeks, 6 months, whatever. What you need is direct communication with someone who is in alignment with what it is that you want. And that's an insecurity in itself too. Some of you guys can't take the Nestea plunge to work with us, even on a free level, because it's safer to say, but I tried. I got the opt-in. I watched it and I thought myself to death, and I'm still as confused as I look right now, because you got to get naked with us. You got to tell us what you're thinking. But see, for the ones that decide to be vulnerable, then they be sexy walking around with a damn thong on their ass, because they the shit. You can't stop them. You know,
rolling around in 6 figures in the bed.
Metaphorically speaking, that is. But the ones that decide to be vulnerable are the ones that get the results. And so you have to hear, we're not picking, we're not prying. For the first time, don't be insecure. Be confident that you are in the midst of coaches that are saying you deserve. It's literally just that simple. You deserve greater than mediocrity. You deserve better than, here's what I give everybody else. You set your expectation to know that that's what you deserve.
Absolutely. And so, you can absolutely do this. And I always was telling people in the group, I said, if you're feeling unclear, unsure, that's why we hold the space for people so that they can get what they deserve, so that the path can be opened up for them to do that. And that's why I'm like, bump what the coaches are saying about it's hard and all this crap, and the people in your circle that maybe shouldn't be part of your circle. I'm just saying, side note.
Anchors in your circle.
Anchors in your circle. Okay, whoop whoop. Shout out to the podcast.
Just
but bump the divorce rate. I'm like, I know what the numbers are. I see them. I don't care. And if you are looking at that like, well, I guess I'm just another statistic, then you have to realize that it's that self-fulfilling problem, that your energy is putting you on that path. Your energy is not in the space of, okay, how can I course correct this and what can I do? And you, like you were saying, you deserve to be in that space where you're not dealing in, oh man, I don't know if no, you're dealing in, I got this. And if I have a day or if I have a moment where I'm faltering, I recognize it and I know what to do about it. Both of us are like, this is real life. This is real talk. Yeah. We deal with insecurities in our business. You deal with insecurities in your marriage. But what's going to be key is inevitably when things don't go your way or the way you want it or the way you like it or doesn't necessarily feel good, you don't shirk away. You don't run away. You say, all right, I see this. I recognize this for what it is. I had that moment. I had that day, but I know what to do to get me back on track. I know what to do to get back on that horse. And if it happens again, I'll do it again. And that's life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's life. What we do is about life. And so you're not just changing your business and your marriage.
Yeah.
This is a shift that you're going to carry with you for the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
And how valuable is that to you? What does that mean for you? What does that mean to you? And you ask the golden question. You said, what do you feel you're going to lose by showing up fully? What do you think you're going to lose?
And usually what they think they're going to lose is the stuff that they don't even really think holds the highest value anyway.
That's true.
But we're not going to go there, y'all. Okay, we held y'all for a nice little minute. We love you all for joining us. Please share. Share because you just want to share. Share because you want to win the opportunity to get a free session with us so we can show you what's possible. Yes. The drawing will be the third Monday of this month. As a matter of fact, I believe that's next week. It's the last one that we get.
Next week is the last one, and then the week after that.
Yep. So we're giving away another free session. Share, tag a friend, let them know. And you guys have an amazing day. Yes. Thank you for being here. And may you be blessed. And may this have sparked something in your soul to say, you know what? I'm confident that I deserve greater. Yeah. If you want more and you want one-on-one help, we're not shutting the doors until tomorrow. Yeah. Go ahead and join us for the Fix My Business, Fix My Marriage Challenge. We'll put the links down here in a little bit. In the meantime, between time, we out it. Deuces. Look, I'm seeing. Hey, you guys are getting left to last. Okay, stop.